The Property Bulletin by London Property, the home of superprime.
Pressure is mounting on Michael Gove to reconsider health and safety regulations impacting homebuilders, which are resulting in diminished window sizes in new constructions. Implemented 2 years ago by the government, the regulations mandate that upstairs windows in new-build homes must be positioned at least 1.1 metres from the floor, purportedly to reduce the risk of falls. However, this requirement has led to the creation of homes described as gloomier and darker, with smaller windows that limit natural light and views. Concerns have been raised by experts and industry insiders, who argue that these rules are counterproductive and inhibit the creation of homes in line with traditional architectural styles. Nicholas Boyes-Smith, chairman of the Create Street think tank, expressed apprehension that the regulations are incentivizing the construction of homes with extremely small windows, impacting their livability and aesthetic appeal. Examples of new homes adhering to these regulations showcase cramped upper-story windows, prompting calls for a review of the rules. Critics argue that complying with these regulations often leads to costly and impractical solutions, such as installing bars or sealing windows shut, which detract from the overall quality of housing. While the government conducted a consultation with house builders last year to review the regulations, the outcome is eagerly anticipated. There is optimism among critics that the government will either amend or scrap the regulations entirely, recognizing their impracticality and adverse impact on housing design and quality of life. As discussions continue, stakeholders await the government's response to the consultation, hoping for a reconsideration of the regulations to ensure that future homes are both safe and conducive to a high quality of life. Luxury London mansions are now fetching significantly lower prices, signalling a downturn in the high-end property market. Wealthy sellers, eager to close deals amidst the slump, are slashing prices by up to 30% in prestigious areas of the city. Last year, Fatima and Iskander Maliki hosted a lavish party at their Mayfair mansion, hoping to attract buyers. Despite their efforts, they eventually sold the property to a buyer from the Middle East at a staggering 33% discount from its initial £40 million asking price. Similarly, a mansion in Kensington recently sold for about £30 million, a substantial 17% drop from its original listing. These price reductions reflect the challenging landscape of London's luxury real estate market, now favouring buyers. The market's decline can be attributed in part to a UK budget proposal aiming to eliminate tax advantages for wealthy foreign residents, deterring some investors. With property valuations plummeting and sales dwindling, sellers are forced to cut prices to secure transactions. Even beyond the capital, luxury property markets are feeling the impact, with high-end country homes experiencing a similar decline in demand. While some remain optimistic about future market recovery, the current state reflects a significant shift in dynamics, with buyers now enjoying greater bargaining power and sellers facing tough decisions on pricing. Despite the challenges, London's allure for affluent buyers endures, suggesting potential for a rebound once market conditions stabilise. London's housing market has lagged behind the rest of the UK for the past 8 years, due to several factors including high property costs, post-pandemic housing trends, and rising mortgage rates. Official data reveals a 4.8% drop in London house prices in February 2024 compared to the previous year, contrasting sharply with a 0.2% contraction across Britain. This decline positions London as the worst-performing region, despite remaining the most expensive part of the country. The divergence in house prices between London and the rest of the UK has been consistent since 2016, mainly due to affordability issues in the capital and the pandemic's impact on urban migration. While UK house prices rose by 37% between February 2016 and February 2024, London saw only a 10% increase. Affordability constraints, Brexit, and regulatory changes in the mortgage market have all contributed to London's subdued performance. The trend of race for space post-COVID, where buyers sought larger homes, further prolonged London's underperformance, exacerbated by the Bank of England's interest rate hikes. While rental costs are expected to stabilise, opinions are divided on the future of house prices in London. Some analysts believe the city is becoming more affordable, while others anticipate continued underperformance in the near future. The Church of England has voiced concerns over the potential impact of Michael Gove's leasehold reforms, cautioning that charities stand to lose significant funding under the proposed changes. In a statement delivered in the House of Lords, the Bishop of Manchester, David Walker, highlighted the unintended consequences of the leasehold bill on charities reliant on freehold income. The proposed reforms include capping existing ground rents and eliminating marriage value, a charge typically applied to leases under 80 years old. While intended to protect leaseholders, the Church argues that these measures could detrimentally affect charities benefiting from marriage value. The Right Reverend Professor David Walker emphasised the disproportionate impact on charities, pointing out that many leaseholders benefiting from marriage value are wealthy individuals or overseas entities. He raised concerns about the potential diversion of funds from charity purposes to affluent leaseholders, characterising it as a reverse Robin Hood scenario. The Church Commissioners, overseeing a substantial endowment fund predominantly invested in real estate, anticipate a significant reduction in income from properties like the Hyde Park estate if marriage value is abolished. This reduction would directly impact charitable activities supported by the Church of England. Additionally, other charities such as the John Lyons Charity and the Wellcome Trust are expected to suffer substantial financial losses under the proposed reforms, further highlighting the potential adverse effects on the charitable sector. Critics advocate for amendments to the bill, including a grandfathering provision for existing leases under 80 years, to mitigate the impact on freehold investors and protect British property businesses. In response, a Whitehall source suggested a potential compromise to address concerns while achieving the bill's objectives. The Church Commissioners and other charitable organisations are lobbying for exemptions from the proposed abolition of marriage value, citing the detrimental impact on their ability to fulfil charitable missions. Despite the government's intention to reform the leasehold system to benefit millions of leaseholders, concerns persist over the unintended consequences on charities and private investors alike. If you paid higher rates of stamp duty land tax, SDLT, when buying your new home, you might qualify for a repayment after selling your previous main home. To apply, you must have sold your previous main home within 3 years of buying the new property, unless exceptional circumstances apply. For properties sold on or after 29th of October 2018, HMRC must receive your refund request within 12 months after the sale, or 12 months after the filing date of the SDLT return for your new main home. For properties sold before that date, the deadline is 3 months after the sale or 12 months after the filing date of the SDLT return for your new main home. In case of a delay in selling due to exceptional circumstances, you can still apply for a refund if you purchased your new home on or after 1st of January 2017. Once the reason for the delay ends, you must sell your previous home without further delay and provide an explanation to HMRC along with required information.
Subscribe to our newsletter to receive our weekly bulletins and stay ahead of what's shaping the super prime property market.